I've been telling you for 2 weeks that the campaign of Kamala Harris and testosterone-free Timmy was collapsing. The evidence has been everywhere, and now it is showing up in the polling all over the country, with just about every major pollster showing major shifts toward Donald Trump. And the betting markets have now made him a 16-point favorite. Yeah, he has a 16-point advantage on Polymarket. With less than 3 weeks to go, the panic is setting in, and the biggest red flag of all, apparently, is with black voters all over America that are shifting to Donald Trump and doing so in record numbers. Many observers, including myself, are predicting he will secure Will Trump, the largest black vote for any Republican since 1960, my lifetime. So what are the Democrats doing? Exactly what you would expect. Throwing free stuff out. Hey, free stuff for you, free stuff for you. And, of course, the race card being played on top. And then there comes a stern lecture from former President Barack Obama, wagging his bony finger. He's trying to shame black men into voting for Kamala, but that has failed miserably, too, as we've talked about. It's not working. On MSNBC, Joy Reid goes into full meltdown mode because black men are moving sharply to support Trump, and she's just losing her mind. Here she is.
Have you noticed how sharply the polls have shifted in Trump's favor over the last couple weeks? With these claims that Trump is surging with black and Latino voters and leading in every single swing state, according to secret internal polls, despite all the Hitler talk. Yes, this race will be far too close. Because unfortunately, we do have a fascist groundswell in parts of this country, mainly among white men, let's be clear, but in small pockets among black and brown men, too. This happens to be a global phenomenon as women become more economically independent and seek positions of power.
A fascist groundswell. Really? A fascist groundswell. I guess because I believe in the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion and lower taxes and lower regulations, I'm part of that fascist groundswell. But how much money is Kamala willing to dangle in front of the voters she needs to buy? Well, I don't think there's an answer for that. It's substantial. She is ready to deplete America's finances completely to pay for her crazy vote-buying schemes. Kamala more than happy to buy black votes any way she can, which includes reparations. If you haven't heard, she was raised in the middle class. In case you missed that, here she is on The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God. Listen.
Yes, I am running to be a president for all Americans. That being said, I do have clear eyes about the disparities that exist and the context in which they exist, meaning history, to your point. So my agenda, well, first of all, on the point of reparations, it has to be studied. There's no question about that. And I've been very clear about that position. In terms of my immediate plan, I will tell you a few of the following. One, as it relates to the economy, which is a lot of what you have addressed. Look, I grew up in the middle class. My mother, worked hard, raised me and my sister.
Lord.
And by the time I was in high school, she was able to afford our first.
Stop. I mean, good. I was raised in the middle class. Yeah, of course you were. In Westmount, Montreal, Canada, in a Victorian mansion. I don't know which middle class neighborhood you grew up in, but that's nothing like anything I saw growing up. She thinks that's a middle-class kid, okay. And while the Democrats think this is a good idea, it's actually failing. The voters they need are not buying it. You see, they get lied to every 4 years or so about how great it is all going to be for them. But then they wake up after the election and realize, well, nothing changed. Again. The inner cities are again forgotten. Illegal aliens are pushed to the front of the line while black communities and brown communities are ignored all over again. And there are many calling for it and calling it exactly for what it is. Republican Congressman Wesley Hunt, for example, calls out the blatantly racist money being offered by Kamala Harris to buy votes from black men. Here's what he said.
Our young men deserting the Democratic Party. That includes young black men. Joining us now, the great Texas Congressman Wesley Hunt. Mr. Hunt, Wesley Hunt, welcome back, sir, as always. I tell you one thing for sure. Kamala Harris, I mean, putting everything aside, politics aside and the rest of it, forgiving government loans on a specific basis, almost a color of your skin basis, and suggesting that smoking pot is a good idea is not a good idea. I mean, right there, just making pot legal, really? That's her solution to what ails young men, black men, brown men, whatever men? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. I just say it out loud. Stupid, stupid, stupid.
It most certainly is. And coming from her, the hypocrisy is nauseating. This is the same woman that when she was a prosecutor, she was locking up black men for marijuana charges like hotcakes. And we aren't buying it. We know that this is a complete lie, and all these campaign promises are not going to come to fruition. And they are literally trying to buy the black male vote.
They clearly are. Of course they are. Black men abandoning Kamala Harris in ways we have never seen. That's why Barack Obama's out there lecturing. For some black men, this is deeply offensive, by the way, because they're being told by elitist white Democrats, you have to vote for Kamala or you are less because of it. Can you imagine a white politician saying the same thing to white voters? That was a question I had when I was listening to all of this garbage and going through it. Charles Payne explains why men, and black men in particular, are rejecting Kamala for her stand on, well, everything. Here's Charles Payne.
Black men have to get over the fact that you got a woman on the ticket.
Right.
And are you afraid to vote for her is basically what he did and challenged them.
A damn shame. It's like, it's so insulting. Could you imagine a white man talking down to black people like that, particularly black men? That's our issue, women. It's not the fact that I don't have a job or my job is not existing or, I'm in a world where, by the way, progressives are erasing me from movies, from billboards, from opportunities. The Democratic Party, particularly progressives in Hollywood, Madison Avenue, Washington, D.C., Wall Street, they have erased the black man. There's no opportunities for black men anywhere in their world. And I think a lot of it centers around what they perceive as to be too much toxic masculinity. They hate black masculinity. They hate it. And they've gone to war with it. And black men have noticed it. And guess what? They're saying, we're not going to take it anymore.
We're not going to take it anymore. We're not taking any of it, in fact. All right, so that's where we are with, 20 days to go now until the election. 20 days. I've already voted. I hope you have too. Here in Michigan and in Pennsylvania, you have a tool to help you find people that have not voted. 10xvotes.com. 10xvotes.com will help you find 10 friends that think like you do, that believe like you do, that maybe haven't voted. This is your chance to make a difference in Michigan, in Pennsylvania. 10xvotes.com. Check it out.